we forgot the champagne, guys, but I did bring this, Corey. You want to douse yourself with this? You want to?
Nope.
Florida State gets a win, guys. Florida State wins 14-9 against previously undefeated Cal.
That's right.
The Golden Bears
Sorry,
were
Bears.
3-0.
Welcome to the ACC, baby.
Now-
Welcome to the ACC. It ain't going to be all. It's not as easy as going into some SEC school and beating them.
They're going back out west with a loss. Florida State improves to 1-3 on the season, gets their first win.
Going to be a lot of sad hacky sacks.
Welcome into the Vitamin Energy Warchant Wrap. Corey and Ira with Aslan. We are wrapping up a win, man. It's been, I don't know, 9-10 months?
Since a cold, rainy night in Charlotte.
Early December in Charlotte, Florida State gets a win. It was a white knuckler, but Mike Norvell said that he felt like they needed that to kind of show that, well, I mean,
They could. I think they need a 46-7 win.
His
honestly,
point was, I think he felt like they needed to prove they could come back and win a game, and also hold on for a win, because that's really been killing them in these first few games. They couldn't hold on once they tied it against Georgia Tech. They couldn't come back when they fell behind against Boston College.
Yeah.
Tonight, they did both of those things.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's one way to look at it, Corey.
It is. That glass is full. It's not even half full. It's completely
full.
Yeah, man. I thought the story is obviously the defense. Now they're going to make you roll your eyes sometimes. They're going to make you curse on some. Was there a third and 18? They gave up a first and 25, like a third and 18, a fourth and 13.
What's weird though, Cal was 5 out of 15 on third downs. You'll live with that.
Oh, yeah.
And they were 2 out of 5 scoring in the red zone, which you love.
Yeah.
But some of the third downs and fourth downs they did connect on were third and a mile.
But all that being said, like the point I was trying to make is, even though they might drive you crazy at times, these last 2 weeks, this has looked more like the defense we thought they were going to have. Like, who wins college football games anymore when you score 14 points? Right. Nobody does. Yeah. This is 1953 all over again in this place. But that defense late in the game, after, look, Ja'Kai Douglas made a great catch on a third down, and then that's I don't know that it was thrown to him. We didn't ask DJ after the game if that's who he was throwing to. I thought that would be rude.
I think there was a tight end in the area.
I thought that was kind of rude, right. and Morlock's dropped a few, so I think Ja'Kai was like, I'm going to go catch it. I'm going to go intercept it for Morlock. Right. But I thought it would have been rude to ask DJ who he's throwing to on that play. But that's a great throw he made for the touchdown. Yeah. And then the defense, although it gave up some big plays and it gave up some for a bad fourth and 13 conversion, made it rallied up, and it won you the game. And that defensive line was ferocious. I can promise you, if you ask Cal's offensive lineman, what's the best defensive line they face, it ain't Auburn, and it ain't
San Diego State, UC Davis.
It ain't the Aztecs or UC Davis. It's the Noles. That was legit. I feel like the tracker is not on us. It might sound like it's on us. It's actually 35 yards away.
Aslan's got this high-tech microphone.
Oh, okay.
We don't even don't
worry yourself. I get rattled. I get rattled like that Cal quarterback and that Cal offensive line with the crowd.
But Cal's offensive line, I don't think is a strength. They're not a great offensive line.
True.
Florida State's defensive line.
They did get some guys back today. But
Florida State's defensive line dominated. It was just cool to see Josh Farmer these last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Look like the guy, again, like you said, that we thought was going to be a potential early round NFL draft pick. First 2 weeks was not real effective. These last 2 weeks he's been dominant, and he talked about it. It was pretty cool. If you get a chance to go watch the player interviews, when the defensive guys talk, Josh Farmer talks about he came into the season, he was still wearing a cast. He missed all the spring, and he came into the season, he was still wearing a cast on one of his wrists. And he said his brother was like, man, you need to take that blank off after they lost the second game.
He said,
I've been playing with the cast, so I was talking to my brothers before the Memphis game, and he was like, y'all 0-3, it is what it is, 0-2, it is what it is. And I was like, I just said that. He just said, take the shit off, and I just took the shit off. And I've been playing without the cast. Honestly, I just been playing without the cast, man.
He did.
Okay, yeah.
He said that multiple times.
He did. Yeah, Josh doesn't care anymore. God bless him.
And then he said he took it off before the Memphis game, and he has been a different guy. I mean, he's like hip-tossing dudes out of the way. I mean, that was dominant. And then the other guys made Patrick Payton, all these other guys started making plays too.
It literally was. It was Braden Fisk-esque, late in last season. I mean, he dominated the interior of that line. Now, look, defensive tackles aren't going to have typically 9 tackles for loss and 5 sacks, but I think he had 3 tackles for loss, and he led to other sacks because he was throwing guys out of the way and making the quarterback move off his spot that rolled him into sacks. And Marvin had a couple of sacks. As you pointed out, again, It's been a weird season. I don't know how Florida State just can't recover fumbles. It doesn't make sense. It's crazy on a strip sack blind side.
You've got 5 guys there.
And you can't recover it. But you ended up getting the stop anyway. But Marvin had a nice game finally. Patrick Payton, I thought, was all over the place and played really hard. Daryl Jackson was in there on that last play with Edwin Joseph. And yeah, man, I thought it was that was it. I thought the Memphis game was encouraging from a defensive side because they ran around and they hit people. And on that scary play where the Cal offensive lineman knocked himself out on off Azari Thomas's shoulder, right?
Very freak injury.
Man, Devontae Brown, not a great player necessarily. I don't think he's not. He's not Derek Gibson or somebody
Probably
like that. But man, he went like a missile to knock that kid out of bounds after that play because that kid had probably made 3 people miss, and Devontae Brown would look like he was shot out of a cannon. So, man, they just look like they're playing harder. They're more ferocious. It's the stuff we wanted to see from that side of the ball.
Yeah, and I think
the other side of the ball.
We'll get there, Corey.
Okay,
we'll get there.
all right.
But no, that's what we, in the preseason, I think this is a defense we saw at times, and we thought they would carry it in, and then it just has not appeared. But it was just good to see, man. Just like you said, not just arm tackling or just trying to drag guys down, but trying to deliver big hits. And the pass rush was ferocious, like you said. The player said that Adam Fuller actually kind of scaled back the defense a little bit. They had a smaller play call sheet, try to simplify things, and he told the defensive line to go hunt.
Yeah.
And they definitely did. Going to the other side of the ball, and people are probably like, man, you guys are fired up for a 14-9 win over Cal.
Yeah, we are. It's been a minute. We want to talk about a win, man.
The offensive side of the ball, what a weird game because it started off, the offense looked good. They ran the ball well early. Their second drive of the game, they go, I think, 80 yards right down the field, score a touchdown. You're feeling pretty good about this offense. Then they go 6 drives with nothing. Yeah. Not only do they not score.
2 hours. It was 2 hours of real time of nothing.
Not only do they not score, but they have at least, I think, 3 opportunities to go up by multiple scores, and they just keep self-destructing. DJ throws a pick in the red zone.
Horrible.
They take sacks. They just fell apart every time they got in the red zone. So that part of it, is frustrating, even though you got the win.
Morlock had a critical drop. That's a 20-yard. That gets you to the other side of midfield, and that's a really nice play by DJ to hang in there and take it. Look, we won't spend too much time about it. 14 points is gross. They've scored. What are they averaging? Literally 15 points a game through 4 games. It has to get better, or it's going to be a really bad season. You can already say it's already been a really bad season, but the defense gives you enough hope that you think, okay, if the offense can just become average, just average, you can go win a good portion of these games, but you haven't seen that yet. But still, Ja'Kai, that's my dog. He makes plays, man. He makes plays. He had a big run in the first half. I think that was on their first touchdown drive. And then on that play to Morlock where he intercepts it, and then that touchdown, that's just a guy.
He did not intercept it.
You don't think so?
No, he was catch.
He's a ball hawk, man.
He's
a ball hawk. That's a really nice throw by DJ, but that's one of your guys that you can count on that has made plays since he's been here, making a big play in that moment when they absolutely had to have it.
Yeah, the touchdown pass was just, again, that's
a tiny window to throw it into.
Right, and it was a perfect throw, and those are the plays I think that have kept Mike Norvell hanging on with DJ Uyunglele for the sense that you do see moments. I mean, he had a couple other passes tonight. They were nice passes.
Yeah.
But then
missed Benson. Missed Benson on that long. That would have been an 80-yard touchdown. It's open. Malik Benson's open. I don't know if he could have, flattened it out a little quicker or just it was a bad throw, but it was right there. I'd like them to do that once literally every three plays. Just air it out.
Also, love seeing Lawrence Toafili more involved. I think he had 17 carries. We've been kind of asking for the last few weeks, where's Lawrence Toafili? It took maybe Roydell Williams getting hurt, and then Cam Davis went out for a little while in this game. Thankfully, he was able to come back. Nothing major. But Toafili was awesome, man. I mean, that was the Lawrence Toafili we saw last season.
Yeah, well, it's kind of what we've seen for most of his career. And it's weird that he, he just wasn't getting any carries. And in the first half, I think he had as many carries in the first half as he had all year. So that was good to see. You do have some guys that can make some plays. The offensive line looked, like you said, really good there at the beginning and then kind of reverted back into what is this mode again at the end. But who cares? You know what I mean? Who cares? It's a dub. It's a dub. That's all we care about on this field is getting dubs. And Cal, sorry, you're in the ACC, man. It's big boy football now. It's big boy football. You don't get Ja'Kai Douglases in the Pac-12, my man.
I do wonder what this can do for this team. I mean, I asked Mike Norvell that. I do think getting a win has to help them, man.
What was the Florida State team that went winless? Was that like 74? 75, 73 maybe.
It was right before Bowden came.
Yeah,
right?
so Moodger, like the 73 Moodger team. You think they pop champagne every time a Florida State team gets its first win, so they still get to live
Mercury Morris and the
they still get to live historically forever. Pop that champagne, boys. This team's going to win. So it won a game.
Well, I wish they had brought the champagne for us.
Yeah, no, that's my fault. I really, honestly, too, like, we don't want to sully that great moment from 3 years ago. And it's also kind of depressing that we're right back to where I would pour champagne on myself a year after they went 13-0. So
72 months later.
So, yeah, that's why I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to give people credence that it's as bad as it was then. It's as hopeless as it felt then.
Last thing I want to touch on real quick. First of all, it's cool to have Jordan Travis back tonight.
J-Trav.
Second thing is,
they don't lose when he's in this stadium, by the way.
Not only do they have, I mean, look, man, they're getting 55,000. The stadium now holds 55,000 max now because of the construction that's going on.
Yeah.
And as the game went on and the offense struggled, you started losing some of the students. And so the crowd
Can you blame them, Ira?
No, I do not.
It's on TVs.
But by the end of the game,
Potts has TVs. So does Bullwinkles.
You might have 45,000 people in the stadium. But they were awesome, man.
Yeah.
And Mike Norvell credited them with causing all the false starts. Cal had 10 penalties. And a lot of false starts. Part of it was the defensive line, but part of it also was the crowd.
Seriously, and I wrote a column, a lot of it based on that. Like, it's crazy that a third straight home game with an 0-3 team playing Cal. God love you, Cal. Thanks for coming to the conference, but it's California. The crowd would be like that in the fourth quarter of a game, really making a difference. And I know they booed early, but they also chanted, "We loved EJ," or whatever they were chanting later in that game where he actually had a drive. But it was an impactful crowd, man, and it's like it reminds you why this place can be special. Because the buy-in from the fans, even watching us inferior product right now, that was really impressive. I just thought I was really kind of blown away. You know, we get paid to come here. Aslan, you get paid to come here, right? Yeah, Ira does too. But people shell out money to come watch this team, and it's been a growth start. But that was really cool that they really made an impact. And how many times has Cal football faced an environment like that?
Right. That's a good point.
I mean, I know they were at Auburn just a little while ago, but they were kind of in control of that game for a while. But they don't. Cal football doesn't bring the ire from the fans. They're just not used to something like that. So that was cool to see that the fans really showed up and made a difference after 3 straight home weeks.
And then the last thing real quick, shout out to Edwin Joseph, Quindarius Jones, those young guys, because, man, there is a lot of talent. I know FSU's taken a beating for the last 3 or 4 weeks now about the high school recruiting this program has done over the last few years, and some of it's warranted for sure. But, man, the redshirt freshmen and the freshmen on this team, these last 2 classes, there's a lot of talent at defensive back. There's a lot of talent at receiver, and I think there's some talent at linebacker and running back as well. There is some talent. It's good to see those guys get opportunities. Edwin Joseph, man, they don't win this game without Edwin Joseph.
Yeah, it's a big pick. That's a sack to basically finish off the game. A good call by Fuller, too. He didn't just rush 4. He came after him. He made him go make a play. That was really smart by him. And, it's cool to see that. Like, look, they still have a lot of improvements to make on the roster, let's say, but you can see why Norvell's excited about some of these guys. I think Daniel Lyons has been really impactful so far through 4 games. We'll see with the offensive line, though. So, it's kind of as we look forward. Let's see what it looks like on the offensive line.
In their defense, they still didn't have Jeremiah Byers back, but he did look great on the sideline, running around. Like, he looked like 2 weeks ago he was on crutches.
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks ago he was on crutches. Tonight he was running around the sideline, cheering guys up, or cheering guys on. And then also another offensive lineman was out too, right? Who else was out?
Rob Scott.
Rob Scott was out as well. So they were shorthanded on the offensive line. Maybe that'll come around. Maybe the offense will get a little bit better. Man, the offense has to get a whole lot better.
You think?
But they got a dub, Corey. They got a dub.
Hey, and the special teams got a dub. Shout out to the Maestro, Mastromano, the Ray Guy favorite in my opinion.
It's over.
I don't like that. It is over. It's a wrap. It's over before October. Where do they reward the Ray Guy?
I think it's in South Florida.
He better be at least be there somewhere. He better at least be invited.
He was a finalist last year.
Okay, good. So he's been there. And then Fitzgerald, I might need the head coach to give him a chance at a 55-yarder if he's going to win the Groza. That was odd to go for it there. But, Mastromano was he flips the field, man. He's great. And, I'd like McCoy to go catch the punt that goes 69 yards. But what are you going to do? Things happen.
There's still a lot of meat on this bone that we're going to talk about over the next few weeks on Wake Up Warchant at warchant.com. Seminole Headlines, all the shows
Cameron Show,
man.
Seminole Headlines, the Monday Night Smash.
Whatever you want to
I mean, it's literally nonstop.
But there's plenty to talk about. Some of the coaching decisions. There's a lot going on with this football team right now. We'll have more coming. But what we also have is BOGO. Warchant BOGO is the promo code.
That's right. We don't have it. If we had Vitamin Energy, I would pour it on myself, but we don't, so sorry.
That would have been good. That would have been good. That would have been better than champagne.
I'm going to start. No, we're not going to do that. Let's wrap it up, Ira. Let's wrap it up.
Go to vitaminenergy.com. Warchant BOGO is the promo code. Get 2 for 1, get 20 for 10. You do the math from there. It's a little too complicated. For Corey and Aslan, this is Ira signing off from Doak Campbell Stadium where the Noles got a dub.
We're out. Oh, no.